right. Just watching the game, kind of noticed that Kishuna James was playing a point forward for them a lot. And
Yeah, for sure.
Wasn't necessarily a traditional point guard, but was just going out, getting the ball, and just making plays.
That's her claim to fame. That's her claim to fame. That's what she does. I said in my other 2 interviews, I played against her at Mississippi Valley last year, and, we sort of hugged it out at the end because she's a pro player. There's no question about it. I told her that last year. And at the mid-major level, you got to give props for kids where they're due. At one point, she was leading the country in scoring. At one point, I would have loved to see her and Tia Wooten, go at it. Unfortunately, defensively, we had 2 different defensive assignments, but she's a player, but it was very nice to see Tia adjust as well. She put her team on her back tonight.
Gotcha. As far as during the game, I've seen you play before, and I kind of, the pressure a little bit more. Noticed tonight, not as much pressure as much. Was that just a strategic thing?
Well, when you have a player for them that's shooting literally at sometimes 70-80% of their shots, you want to spread the floor. You want to make other players factors. But the real side of that is you want to make sure you always know where she is. And so, unfortunately, you can't always one-on-one it. And that's typically our bread and butter. So we pulled it back a little bit, tried to keep things in the half court. For us, 45 to 55 shots max is what we need to do offensively. Games we shoot over that, we're not very successful. We shot 63 tonight, which is poor decision making for us. But we tried to slow the game down a little bit more. But in the third and the fourth, when you're behind, you got to go back to what you do. Yeah.
Right. Also, I noticed the decided advantage. It got closer as the game ended.
Yeah.
But points in the paint, it was a lot of straight line drives.
Yeah.
We're giving up. Was it just a lack of communication, or
no, not at all. I think it's just a lack of effort across the board. You have to keep the ball in front. That's not a scheme. That's not a scout. You keep the ball in front of you. You're doing the right things defensively. We tried to scheme a little bit on the backside. Kalia Griffin, I have to say this, 17 points for her tonight. But defensively, because that's my Achilles heel with Kalia, she really came back and defended pretty well tonight. So I'm very happy to see that out of her. But yes, some missed defensive assignments, but on the flip side, 13. That's a new season low for turnovers for us. So baby steps. We're taking baby steps.
Gotcha. As far as Tia Wooten, as you already spoke of, her effort tonight, I notice every time she plays, she puts out maximum effort. Are more players taking to her effort, or are you trying to get people to her?
I think so. Last game, I was very disappointed in our overall effort and our toughness. That's one thing I haven't questioned all year. I've had someone last week ask me and say, Tia is really a competitor. No, she's a fighter. Like, Tia is the definition of a fighter. You hit me, we hit back, right? I get down, I'm getting back up, And for her, she's learning to channel her emotions. Believe it or not, it is trickling over to the freshmen. Freshmen are just freshmen. It's a slow process. So Taylor Roberts tonight, it was nice to see her back. Sort of kind of to herself. Taylor, as most people haven't noticed, Taylor's lost a tremendous amount of weight from freshman coming in till now. She's making the collegiate transition. So she's turning into a guard body, and she's figuring out how to deal with that. So Jaden, Tia, and Taylor Roberts together are working very well. It's a combination, I think, in February when we get it down, it's going to be a problem.
Now, as far as the team, and I know the record probably isn't where you want it to be. So what would you say is your level of satisfaction with the progression of the team over the years so far?
If it makes anybody feel better, I've never had a squad that could score 70 points every night. And so that's a good problem to have. If we were talking about scoring and defense, then that would be more stressful than where we are right now. We're trying to keep this as positive as possible for the young ladies. The reality is, and I said this the other day and I'll say it again, we are dealing with 17 to 22-year-old women who are still trying to figure it out. And as a staff, we're still trying to figure it out. But their effort every night, I'm not questioning that. And they bounced back. This was not the same team that we had 2 nights ago. And that I'm happy with. But it is a process, and we have to trust that.
Gotcha. Well, that's all I got.
Okay. Thanks.